back, everybody. We're going to do a tomato review today on this tomato right here, and it was sent to me by one of the viewers of my tomato reviews, and I guess they want me to do a review on it, so they gave me this, and the only thing I know about it is that is what it's called. Okay, I don't know any more than that. Here's the seed for it. So we grew out a couple of the plants of these. He said something too in an email to me about it being possibly mixed up with the beefsteak may have gotten into there with the seeds, so they kind of got mixed up. But the plants that I grew came out like this. So I don't know. Maybe next year I'll grow out the rest of those seeds and see if I get one of those pink beefsteaks of some sort. But so far, the plants I grew, they came up like this. And pretty impressed with this tomato, to be honest with you. I've grown them out, I've tried them, and they're a lot like San Marzano Giganti number 3. They're very similar to that, except they don't get quite as big as those. Those can get quite large. I mean, I've had those tomatoes literally get past the size of my hand, like you can see where yours is. I've literally had those tomatoes get like from almost the entire size of my hand. They can get absolutely enormous in the perfect conditions. So there it is, and so let's take a look at these and get this out, and we'll put this on a scale. Just to give you an idea of the weight. Fortunately, I got tomatoes all over this table. Alright, sorry for any blurriness. I can see it's a little blurry on the lens. Alright, so you can see the weight there, right? So we're just going to give you an idea what these weigh. That one weighs 4 ounces. I can't see it from here. That one's that. Here's another one. These are kind of a hollow tomato, so you can see the numbers on it right there for yourself. And we'll get one of the a little bit smaller one. So that's what they weigh. They're kind of a hollow tomato. These are more of a paste tomato or a just a good sauce tomato where you don't have a lot of moisture to deal with and not a lot of seeds. I can tell you that just by handling it. Okay, so let's get that out of there. And let's take a closer look at this. And this is what it looks like. It's a gorgeous tomato. I quite like it a lot, to be honest with you. It's not your atypical Marzano shape. It's a little bit different. It's definitely Marzano in it. You can see the little thing on the end, right? There's another one has that feature. Now, I believe you said this is an F2, so I'm not really sure. So, if it's an F2, you may get some other shapes out of it still. It's not done. Cut that in half, show you what the inside looks like. Okay, it looks like it would probably have a little bit more seed than your atypical Marzanos. Usually, a lot of times with whole San Marzanos, a lot of times one side will be filled with meat. But not always, not always. Sometimes you get them like this too. But there's not a lot of seed in this one. So that's good. Now, let's break out the bricks. Where is the bricks? So let's break out the bricks. Squeeze a little juice on there. Ooh, that's nice and that is juicy, guys. There's a lot of juice on there. Let's see what we're reading. Okay, I'm getting a 6 on a brick. So let me give this a taste, and then we'll put the. Let's give that a taste test. Okay, so let's get right into the numbers. First of all, I like the tomato a lot. It had a real nice flavor to it. So it's definitely going to mark high on this because of just the first impression and other things when I taste tomatoes that I liked about it. So I do like this tomato a lot. It has a lot of potential to it. Okay, so right out the gate, we're going to start with the sweetness. Now, the sweetness is probably going to be a little higher, maybe 26, maybe something like that, maybe 27, but not sweet like sugary sweetness, just a lack of like too much of the acid. So it was the sweetness actually balances off that tardiness when they're very close to the same thing. So I'm going to give that a 26 on the sweetness. It was very smooth, a very, very nice tomato effect. It would make a great mild type of sauce. So if you want a sauce that's not too acidy, this would be a good choice for that, because I didn't really pick up that essence from this tomato. There's some nice genetics in this tomato. I can tell you that just by eating that right out the gate. There's a lot of very classy genetics in that tomato. Now, when you're getting into the tangy part of it, again, I'm just going to go a notch above that. I'm going to say 26 on the tangy part. So these two, because they're so close together, they kind of cancel each other out, and it just gives the tomato a nice, smooth, balanced flavor. Not too high in one end or high in the other. Just a nice, balanced flavor right out the gate. And that's ultimately what you want in a tomato, but it's very rare to come across that. So I do find that with this tomato. And it's very well balanced. Now, I just ate a couple of these just so I can get a good understanding of it. It wasn't like I just ate the one. I ate a few of them, some with the seeds and some without it. So that's what's kind of leading me into this. There's some exquisite genetics in here that's, high-end, good quality genetics. Now, I could taste that in that tomato. Now, it's tomato flavor. When we're talking about the flavor, we're talking about the strength of that flavor. I'm going to go about midway on this. It wasn't terribly strong and it wasn't terribly light. It was right in the middle, had a nice, well-balanced, middle-of-the-road type flavor. So it wasn't overwhelmingly high. So if you got people who are tomato sensitive, or if they don't like tomatoes very much, this would be a good choice, because it's a well-balanced tomato. The flavor comes right in the middle, and it's a really good choice for people who may or may not like tomatoes. Let's move to the moisture. The moisture, I'm going to put up there about a 6 on this. I thought these were going to be dry, chalky paste tomatoes. No, these things were nice and rich and juicy. In fact, I'll cut another one for you. These things were nice and rich and juicy. I mean, you can't see it here, but if I start squeezing that on camera, I don't want to get juice all over, but you can see the juice just starting to pour off that thing. The flesh on this tomato holds that juice in there very, very well. Very, very well. It doesn't look like it's a wet tomato, but this thing has got a lot of moisture in it. This is a wet one right here. It doesn't look it, but believe me when I tell you, I could eat that whole tomato and be as if I ate like another one of these tomatoes on here that are more of a wet variety. So I'm going to give that a 6, possibly even a 6.5, because these kinds of tomatoes aren't generally very wet and moist. They generally tend to be more dry, but this one's really holding in a lot of moisture. So I'm going to go up there around 6, maybe 6.5. Especially for this tomato, it'd be like 6.5, this variety of tomato. It's a good moisture. I really like that. I like a wet sauce. I like it to be a little on the wet side. I don't like it necessarily dry. I don't like the way it cooks down. I like to have the moisture in it and slowly let bring the moisture down. If for some reason when you do that, you get the best quality, best tasting sauces that way. So I don't like them dry, and just because they're dry, you get less sauce. You know what I mean? So we're going to go with that number on that. What do we got here? Tardy or sour? No tardy or sourness. Nothing affecting my tongue or my jaw or anything weird like that. There was no overtones or undertones with it. It was just a nice, smooth San Marzano type of flavor to it. Very smooth, very direct, forthcoming of that variety that it tends to have. And, that's basically what I was able to taste. And no weird things on it. Texture is, for this kind of tomato, is just about perfect. I'm going to go a little above that. I'm going to go right into the 8 on texture on this. The texture on this tomato is absolutely perfect for either paste or just cooking it down very lightly into a nice tomato sauce. Very easily to do with this variety of tomato. So yeah, this has definitely got some good commercial properties to it for that cooking purposes. So when you come to texture, you're going to get a high number on that one. Probably going to go on an 8 on the texture on that. Production-wise, it did pretty good. It actually did better than my San Marzano Gignaty 3s, but the San Marzano Gignaty 3s, those tomatoes can get bigger than my hand. So this is like your biggest tomato on this one, right? The San Marzanos can get literally bigger than my hand, like the width and everything. Like the tomato, you can't even see my fingers with that tomato. Some of those tomatoes can get absolutely enormous, and there's no seeds in it. That tomato might have maybe 10 seeds in it if you're lucky. You know what I mean? So it's not quite the same thing, and I'm not putting it on the same level. But this is definitely for a production tomato. It's definitely a pretty good producing tomato. It's right up there with the Marzanos, which tend to be very good producers. I'll go with 6 on that one, 6.5 on a production. It's definitely above the average with tomatoes in my area anyway. So this one did me pretty good for that variety of, shape of tomato. So I think that's a good number for that. Now, seeds. Seeds is going to be lower. So if it's high seeds, it's going to be 10. If it's low seeds, it's going to be 0. So with this tomato, I'm probably going to say, I'll probably go like maybe a 3 on the seeds. It's not very seedy. It does have the gel in here, right? It has the gel, but there's not a lot of seeds in there. It's just gel. There's like no seeds in it. So it's almost a seedless variety, which is kind of good for you guys. For me, I'd have to grow 100 plants to just get a small amount of seed, Sauce, this would be perfect for a sauce, which is what I'm going to do later today with those. I'm actually going to chop them up specifically and make a little pot of sauce and eat it with something, either pasta or bread, and just kind of see what the flavor of that really is. I would bet this is a really good sauce tomato. So yeah, sauce, I'll probably go up pretty high in that, 6, 7 on the sauce. You're going to get a good rating for that. That's a good, I can tell you right now, because I make a lot of sauces, that's a good tomato for a sauce. Skins is good. I'm going to go, a 5 would be like you don't even know there was skins on it. And a 0 would be like you can't get the skin out of your mouth. It's, this was probably a little higher than that. I'm probably going to go maybe a 3, maybe a 3.5 on this. Skins were perfect. They broke up in my mouth. In fact, you could probably make sauce with these, and the skins will break up with the sauce. So what's my rating for this tomato overall, for this variety tomato in general? 1 would be the highest. I would probably say, I would definitely probably push this one upwards near around 2, believe it or not. That's up there. I really enjoyed this tomato. I was eating this tomato nice and raw, the way I like to eat them, and that really gives me a good feel of what kind of tomato that's going to be, especially when you cook it. And man, I'll tell you, that was definitely pretty good. That's a good raw eating tomato. Good salad tomato. It's a good sauce tomato. It's a good overall. I can't go anything less than 2. I don't want to go too high with it, but definitely a 2 for this. So anyway, guys, that's it. I'll leave whatever links I have and information I have in the description below. You could also visit the website if you find the link there. I don't know if I'm going to offer the seeds for this because there's not really many seeds in it. So I may not offer it. Maybe next year, maybe I'll offer seeds for it. I'll grow it again, and then if I get more tomatoes out of it. I mean, I did pretty good, but not as good as I wanted to. So we'll see. If I can, I will. If not, then you'll see the link in the description if you want to buy it. Anyway, guys, that's it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care.